Hey guys, it's Sarah with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we have a review and install of the Barricade Tubular HD Rear Bumper with LED fog lights, fitting your 09 to 18 Ram 1500. This is perfect for the Ram owner who's looking for a beefier option for a rear bumper and wants one that includes lighting. This full-width rear bumper features off-road styling and includes two 3-inch LED cube lights. It features heavy-duty tubular and steel plate construction with a textured black powder coat finish and has these helpful integrated corner steps. It is compatible with your factory hitch, your trailer plug, and the factory sensors if you have them, and it also includes a wiring harness and everything you need to install your cube lights. So as far as price goes, this option comes in at around $725, which is middle of the road price-wise when compared to other options. And for your money, you are getting a full-width steel rear bumper that includes lighting. I'm giving this install a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. It does feature a direct bolt-up and plug-and-play install, although a bit of wiring is required for the license plate lights. All in all, it can be done within 2 hours. So with that said, let's get into our install. For this install, you will need an impact gun or a ratchet will work just fine, 18, 15, 13, and 10 millimeter sockets, a 13 millimeter wrench, and a heat gun. All right, so the first step in our uninstall is to remove the license plate itself because there are 2 bolts behind it. We're gonna grab a 10 millimeter socket or whatever hardware is holding in your license plate. Let's get this removed. Now you can see the 2 15 millimeter bolts behind the license plate. We're gonna grab a 15 millimeter socket and remove these. Now we can unplug the harnesses, starting with the license plate lights. Go ahead and pull back on the red tab, press down on the black tab just in front of it, and release it. There is your trailer plug right behind that. You might have a little trouble seeing it. Press down on the tab and pull it off. Don't forget the license plate light on the other side. Pull back on the red tab, press down on the black tab, and remove it. Next up, we're gonna remove 2 15 millimeter bolts holding on your bumper. Grab your 15 millimeter socket and get these removed. Now you can repeat that on the other side. Make sure your bumper is supported, especially when you go to take out the last hardware. All right, so now that all your hardware is removed, what we're gonna do is grab a friend for this step just to help you out. We're gonna lift the bumper up slightly and out off the truck. All right, so we do have to remove the trailer plug from the factory bumper, pinch the 2 metal clips on the back, and push it forward. All right, so we do have to do a bit of assembly to our bumper before we can install it on the truck. We're gonna start with the pod lights and install them in the front. Run the harness through the bumper, and we're gonna line up this bracket with the bracket that's on the bottom of the bumper here. We're gonna install the bolt through the top of this bracket. And there are slots that hold this in place to tighten it down. Line it up with the bracket on the bottom of the bumper. And then using a lock washer and the nut that's included, go ahead and thread it on. Now there is a good amount of adjustment to this light, so adjust it to where you would like it. Grab your 13 millimeter wrench and tighten it down. All right, now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. All right, now we can plug in the trailer plug into the front of the bumper and snap it in place just like factory. We can also install the license plate lights. These are going to go in the holes that the license plate mounts through. So thread the wiring through the hole, line up the light, and make sure the LED is pointing down. Slide the washer and the nut down your wiring and up to the threaded part of the back of the license plate light. Grab a 10mm wrench and tighten it down, making sure that your light is still pointing down towards your license plate. Repeat that with the other side. All right, so we do need to do a little bit of wiring here. There are tons of ways to wire these in. What we're going to do is attach the ground together, attach the power together, and then tap into our factory license plate light harness. Now you can wire these individually to each side of your factory harness. We're just doing this for time's sake, because it will work the same. Twisting these wires together, making sure that I'm connecting power and ground to each other. So red wire to red wire, black wire to black wire. Then what we're gonna do is choose a spade connector. This will make disconnecting these, if we ever need to take the bumper off, way easier than wiring it in directly. Just double check that you have a good connection there. So these are heat shrinkable connectors. If you do decide to go with the spade connector route, I recommend these. They will keep them a little better weather tight than a non-heat shrink would. So grab a heat gun. In a pinch, you can use a lighter, but you do risk burning your wire. So the heat gun's gonna work the best. And we're just evenly coating it with heat to shrink these guys up. You'll see them turn clear when they're starting to get hot enough, and they'll shrink to your wire. At this point, if you have sensors in your bumper factory, you would install those. We do not, so we're gonna install the plugs. They're rubber, so just slide them into where the bracket is and press them into place. All right, now that we have our factory bumper uninstalled from our truck, we can check it out side by side with our new bumper here. And as you can see, it has a lot beefier of construction than your factory. Features a steel plate construction and has a nice textured black powder coat finish to really give your truck that aftermarket look. It still gives you all of the features of your factory bumper, like your license plate lights, backup sensors if you have them, and works with your trailer plug, but it adds a few nice ones as well, like the helpful corner steps, and it includes lighting. So with that said, let's finish up our install. All right, now you can grab your bumper. You probably want a friend for this step to help you line it up on the truck. Make sure you get it over top of your hitch. There is a tab on the frame that you want to line up. And you're going to put your nut plate on one side. And your bolts in through the opposite side. Then with your 18mm socket, tighten down the bolts. Repeat that on the other side. Make sure you're plugging in your trailer plug. All right, so this harness has already been tapped on our truck. The blue and white for our truck is power, the black will be ground. You can double check these if you're not certain. So we're just going to plug these in. If yours is not already done, which it probably won't be, you would just tap into this wire to get power to your license plate lights. Plug in the ground as well. Then make sure you tuck up your wiring, make sure it's zip tied out of the way from anything moving hot or sharp. All right, so now we can run our wiring harness. We're starting from the battery and we're gonna route these two connectors that go to the back of the pod lights, down through the engine bay and down the frame of the truck. We're gonna make sure all of this is secured and it's not touching anything hot, sharp, or moving. All right, now we can install this pigtail on the actual battery. We're going to grab power and ground. Now you can wire this in however you like, as long as you have power and ground to this harness. What we're going to do is connect to the positive side of the battery, grab a 10mm socket, and loosen this accessory nut over here. We will have to remove it completely to slip the eyelet over top. Grab your 10mm and tighten it down. And then for the negative side, grab a 13mm socket. Slide the negative terminal over this accessory spot. Grab your 13mm and tighten it down. Now we have the connector for our switch and we're going to route this into the cab. Now you can do this however you like. There is a large rubber grommet that holds some wiring. We can actually go through here to access the cab. Again, how you route this is going to depend on where you want the switch in your truck. We're going to route this wire through the bottom of the dash underneath the steering wheel just so it's nice and clean. Plug in your switch. We're going to route our wiring back a little bit just to tuck it away. Peeling back the protection on the double-sided adhesive. We're going to stick the switch right here. Again, you can mount this wherever you like. Now once you've run your wiring to the back of your bumper, go ahead and plug it into the connectors. And you're going to want to tuck this wiring up and out of the way. Repeat that on the other side. Make sure it's fully plugged in. And go ahead and tuck it up and out of the way. And if the ball for your hitch is not currently installed, go ahead and install this cover. Just press it into place. All right, so that is going to do it for the review and install of this bumper. And remember, for all things Ram, keep it at AmericanTrucks.com.